And we've got it all because we've got Don Fischer. And Don, what a weekend. NCAA play of news. Dusty May goes to Michigan after it looked like Louisville had him locked in and they can't get the deal done. And it was just crazy. And so not only now, and there's going to be a segment of the IU fan base that, and I'll get into this later, and I'm going to tell them just to hush, just to stop. But that are going to be talking about that again, which I'm not going to entertain it. And I'm going to tell them, end it, stop. But Dusty May goes to Michigan, so congratulations to him, first of all. A kid that started out, he was a man, played for Eastern Green, and I believe his coach was Brooks Barnheiser's dad over at Eastern Green, which is just kind of brings everything full circle again of this region, this area of basketball, whether we're talking about high school, college, or whatever. But very cool, but very happy for Dusty. He could have easily left last year, but the funny thing, Don, is the only jobs that were really available were like Penn State and something like that. And people didn't think thought that he was going to make the move. And he just says, nah, he took a little bump at Florida Atlantic and stayed in there. And now he's better for it. So he's going to be not only be playing or coaching against Indiana and recruiting against Indiana. So that's going to be something fun for Hoosier fans.
Well, no doubt. Dusty is a terrific coach. He's a terrific young coach. I think he's 46, maybe something like that. But Dusty is a great person more than anything else. I love him to death. Been friends with him ever since he was a manager at IU. And played a lot of cards with him when he was with Mike Davis at IU. Back in the day, we played a lot of poker.
Is that right?
Oh, yeah. We had a lot of fun. It was really fun. We had Joe Smith, myself, Kit Klingelhofer, Mike Davis, and we had assorted other people came in every now and then.
Mike was a poker player too?
Oh, we all played. We were all playing in Texas. We played all different kinds of games, but
that's awesome.
Hold'em, we played 5-card draw. It was dealer's choice, that kind of thing. So
who was the best card player?
Oh gosh, that's hard to. Dusty was pretty good. I mean, Mike Davis. Mike Davis was tremendous because he had more money than all the rest of us, of course, and so he'd bet every hand.
I'm all in.
He would bet every hand. Baby. I mean, he wouldn't go all in on most of them, but he would bet every hand just about. He wanted to see if anybody was going to challenge him. But we just had a ball with it. It was really a lot of fun. We probably had, in those days, we probably played about 20 different poker games throughout the time that Mike was here. And of course, Dusty was here a good part of that as the video coordinator when he was with Indiana in his first coaching position. So at any rate, long story short, I talked to him yesterday. I congratulated him. I know he and his family are very excited about the opportunity at Michigan. I think he'll do a phenomenal job there. I really do. He'll change that. He'll change some things without question. But here's the biggest problem with Dusty being there. He will recruit the state of Indiana, and
absolutely
that'll get Matt Painter and Mike Woodson and anybody else in the state of Indiana with a college basketball team. It'll get their attention very quickly.
Well, not only that, Don, you already have, like you mentioned, Indiana, Purdue, Notre Dame, Butler, and I'm not even mentioning Valpo and All State, Indiana State, Iowa, Michigan State, all these Big Ten teams that already were constantly recruiting the state as well. So now not only do you bring in someone at Michigan that already recruited the state somewhat, you got a guy who has deep roots in the state of Indiana.
Right. Janelle Davis, who was the best player on the Florida Atlantic team, was from the region up there. In Indiana.
Wasn't his dad recruited by Bob Knight? Was there something story like that?
Yeah, I don't know. I know I've heard some rumor to that effect, but I have no idea if that was factual.
And I wouldn't be surprised. I think John L. Davis has a year of eligibility left.
He does.
And as does Golden, his big man in the middle. And I think there's one other that I would expect and be surprised if they do not follow him to the land of the maize and blue.
I don't doubt that at all. I would bet money on the two that you mentioned, and there may be a third guy. But without question, there'll be guys that will follow him because he's a really good basketball coach and he's proven it.
I know that in the transfer portal, something luckily you don't have to keep up with. But Peyton Sparks has apparently gone back to Ball State, which that's something that I thought a long time. I'm like, man, he shouldn't have left Ball State. He should have stayed there because all that did was it really hurt Michael Lewis and his attempts to get things going in Ball State. And I don't know how much coming to Indiana helped Peyton. So he's in a much better situation. So happy for Michael, happy for Peyton. I think that's a great spot for them and they can get that back going. Connor Esigian is in the transfer portal, just to throw out a couple of names, but it's the wild, wild west, baby.
Yeah. And there's no question Indiana needs shooters. That to me is maybe the number one priority right now, because we still don't know what Khalil Ware is going to do. Malik Renew can play the post. He is a 6'9", 240-pounder that can play the post position if that, in fact, turns out to be the case. And he's got all the inside moves. That's truly his natural position, I think, even though he can go out and shoot a three every once in a while, that kind of thing. And
that makes him actually a more dangerous post player, in my opinion.
Right, exactly. So we'll just have to wait and see how this all plays out with Khalil Ware and what he decides to do, because obviously I haven't even heard a rumor at this point as to what he's decided on this happening in regard to his situation in the NBA. So
there's no doubt he's going to put his name in, especially right up until the minute where you have to withdraw or not,
right?
And go to Chicago, go through the workouts. I'll be shocked if Mackenzie Mbako does not enter his name just to go through that process. If he's able to get an invite to Chicago,
right?
They go up there just to get input, if nothing else.
Sure.
But Khalil Ware is one of those that's really, he's on the border of one that probably won't come back. Because I think that he really showed on the last half of the season, especially his consistency for the most part was there. There were a few games where he disappeared after having a good game, but overall his game really was just pretty damn solid.
Yeah, there's no question about that. And he was a major reason why Indiana finished strong at the end of the regular season. He did a terrific job during those ball games, and even when he wasn't scoring it as much as he normally did, he was able to pull down rebound after rebound. He became a double, a guy who could rebound and shoot the basketball at a high level almost every one of those ball games. So without question, right now this team is in flux. This program is in flux in regard to the transfer portal. They've got 6 scholarships available right now that they can go out and find people. We'll see how it all plays out. There's no doubt that it's going to be, I think the priority has to be on 3-point shooters. I think they've got to find at least two more guys in the portal that can shoot the basketball from outside, because that is their biggest need right now, if you know what I mean.
Absolutely. And I will say this, last year, I think that Mike and his staff learned a valuable, hard-learned lesson, because last year they were had tunnel vision on guys that they wanted. It was just tunnel vision. Oh, that we want this guy, and it was the eggs and all in one basket type of thing. This year has been the opposite. They are casting a very, very wide net. I know that every day on the Hoosier.com, we've seen a new player that Indiana is apparently showing interest in. And I'd say 70% of those so far have been guards, and every day it's a new name coming up. Last year, that was not the case. It was every few days you might see one, and it was this guy or that guy, but they're very, very wide net this year because I think they've also seen these guys are coming from all over the place. How about the dude from Hillsborough College who almost single-handedly led Oakland to the Sweet 16?
Yeah, I mean, that guy was special, but they face guarded him like crazy in the ball game they lost yesterday.
Oh my God.
He couldn't find an opening to shoot the basketball. I mean, I guess early on he hit three. I didn't see the beginning of that ball game. But he apparently hit some in the early going, and then they put a guy on him, and all that guy did was face guarding the rest of the ball game, which made his
cut loose of him.
Impossible. Exactly.
There were Siamese twins. I was watching that. I'm like going, this dude is not getting another shot off unless something happens, unless somebody tackles the guy guarding him, because I guarantee you the coach says, if he gets free from here, your scholarship is gone. But that was fun to watch. And I've got a video I'm going to have to send you. I saw the funniest thing that someone sent me, a guy that just breaks down games and yells at coaches. No cussing, anything like that. It reminds me of Sam Kinison. We're going to have it later on in the show, but he was ripping John Calipari over that game, and he was showing the video, and you'll get a kick out of it. That I promise you. It was great.